back to day 4 of the Northern Ireland Travel News Virtual Forum in association with Jet2holidays. Over the last few days, we have tried to cover as many of the major issues that have affected the travel industry in the last year, with contributions from operators, industry bodies and travel agents. Today is a special day and that we have been able to speak to the very top of our industry and the leaders that have influenced and to shape our future. Last, of course, but not least, is our final guest, the man who is CEO of Jet2.com and Jet2holidays, Mr. Steve Heapy. Steve, having left school at 16 and then spending the next 10 years completing 4 professional qualifications, he spent the next 17 years in a financial services company with various roles, including risk management, previously managing director of scheduled business for My Travel and Thomas Cook. Steve left after 1 year as he wanted to join a company with a different culture. He joined Jet2holidays in November 2009 as managing director and was given the responsibility to grow the brand. He was promoted to CEO of Jet2.com and Jet2holidays in 2013. And with a top-class team, Jet2.com is now the UK's 3rd largest airline, and Jet2holidays is now the 2nd largest UK tour operator. Good afternoon, Steve. And thanks very much indeed for joining us here for our Kickstart to Recovery in association with Jet2holidays. I really appreciate you taking the time. It's been a busy period for you, so thanks for that.
For the invite.
No problem at all. Of course, it's been an unprecedented 14 months, as we're all aware. You must be delighted with the way Jet2.com and Jet2holidays have protected their clients and the efficient way and the manner that you've provided both refunds and alternative travel options.
I am, yeah. We've always said that package holidays you can trust, and I think if you practice that in the good times, you've got to be consistent, and in the bad times also. And I think you've got to look after customers. If you know your customers, they'll move somewhere else, and eventually you'll lose them, and then you'll run out of customers. And you've got to do the right thing. And we've seen already that when people are rebooking the holiday, or even new customers, they've quoted the service they've had in the past. So it is definitely a good investment, and it's the right thing to do. If you went to an electric shop and bought a telly and paid for a telly, and they said, I'll deliver it in 2 weeks' time, and then they didn't deliver it, and you said, well, I'll have my money back, then they said to you, well, you can't have your money. I mean, you'd be, well, livid, wouldn't you? And it's no different from me. It's theft that some of these other travel companies have done. And the travel agents that book with us, hopefully they've had the certainty of knowing that refunds will be made, and we can look after customers together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've heard you speak many times at conferences about the customer experience and the customer journey, and about them saving up all year to have that experience. Of not everyone goes away 4 and 5 times a year. Sometimes it's just once a year. It can be an incredible experience. So it must have been a big decision to actually put back the flying, and of course that was to do with customer safety. So I assume that's what it was for. Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't many places we could fly to because, of course, we had the situation where Foreign Office advice would change. So he said the Foreign Office were advising against all but essential travel. But we don't want to put our customers in the position where, even though it's very, very difficult for them to travel, we still fly and don't give them the money back, which is what some airlines did. They carried on flying and said, well, we've flown, you can't have your money back. But where there's quarantine in place, etc., and lots of testing required, a lot of people just can't go, and I don't think it's fair to penalise them. Again, we just try and do what's right for the customer. You can very quickly run out of customers if you annoy the ones you've got. So yeah, we're keeping an eye on the situation. We've put our start date back with regret to the 24th of June, but I think it's the right thing to do. And if you look over the weekend, there was various reports about where you'll be able to fly from the 17th of May. I think there was 8 destinations listed, and the only one that we go to all year round is Malta. So it would be very difficult to justify starting an operation just for one destination.
I don't think anybody realizes the amount of money and the resources that you have to put together to actually make that happen. And there's been this, and I'm sure you would feel the same way. You don't want this hokey cokey, as they call it, policy where out and out with the news.
It's very messy and it's very disruptive, and it's not good for people either. You know, they organise childcare, etc., because they're working again, and then they're back home and they have to stop, and then they have to organise it again. People want certainty in life, and I think if we can start up going to destinations and stay going to them all this summer, that's going to be a much better outcome than last year, which was extremely difficult to handle. I mean, our call centre people have been working since last February non-stop when we had the sandstorms, booking, rebooking, cancelling, rebooking again, refunding, and you know, they've done an amazing job, just as our travel agent partners have done as well. They've been at the sharp end. It's easy for us to be sat in an office saying, let's do this, let's do that, but the people that are at the sharp end, the travel agents and contact centre staff, they've done a great job, very good job, because some customers have understandably been very put out of the situation, and in sometimes quite abusive, to be honest, which isn't good.
I have to say, I mean, the feedback that I've been given from travel agents is the support that you have given them has been incredible. So, you know, that's a great credit to you guys.
Well, sorry, no, go on.
No, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I think Alan and his team have done a fantastic job, and they've been always present. They've been doing the online training, etc., and keeping in touch with travel agents, helping them how we can. And yeah, he's done a great job and continues to do so. And I hope that when we're through the other side of this, our independent travel agent partners will remember the way we treated them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know you're, you know, strongly involved on a local level with government and one thing and another, but I know also you have a strong relationship with, you know, tourist boards that you fly to and hotels and everything else. Could you give us a bit of an idea about the sort of update that they're giving you at the present time in different destinations?
It's a bit of a mixed bag. They're all very, very keen to receive people from the United Kingdom as soon as they can. But like in the UK, it seems that their health departments have a very strong say in what's happening, and we speak to the ministries of tourism. So they're very keen to get back as soon as they can. But like the UK government, again, they're looking at infection rates, vaccination rates, etc. In speaking to some of these destinations, I think that June is a possibility with quite a number of them. You know, infection rates are coming down. I would hope that, you know, we can maybe get Portugal in June and parts of Spain. If the UK government treats some of the islands as separate areas, then we've got a chance with Canaries and Balearics maybe. So yeah, it's a very mixed picture, but overall they are desperate to have people from the UK going there because, of course, we spend a lot of money. We keep their economies going.
Yeah, absolutely. You were saying earlier on when we were chatting before about governments and the mixed bag. Of course, we don't have a UK approach as far as the relaxation is concerned, and even here in Northern Ireland, we don't have a pathway yet as far as dates are concerned. The 17th of May, of course, that Boris talks about doesn't necessarily apply to Northern Ireland. How do you feel about that? Should there be an all Ireland or an all UK approach?
I would prefer it if there was. I mean, each of the different areas have the right to sort of make their own rules up and govern themselves. So we have to respect that. But it would be good if politicians from, you know, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and London could come together and try and come up with a unified system. It's, you know, when you're trying to run a business that operates in many different regions, it's very hard to get going. The UK governments are probably, I think, the most optimistic as to how we should be. Scotland seemed quite pessimistic. Northern Ireland in the past have been more aligned, I think, to the UK government, but they've still not played the hand yet, and we don't know where they are. So it makes it very, very difficult to plan for the future. So I know the different areas have the right to govern themselves, and as I said, we've got to respect that. But, you know, I'd say to the politicians, please try and work together and come up with a single solution, because it makes it better for everybody concerned.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your appointment to the board of ABDA, by the way. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Could you give us a bit of an idea about what value you think you can bring to that position? And
well, I mean, I think ABTA is, it's a great organisation, and it's been around for a long time, and it does protect customers and travel agents. It's a sign of confidence that people can have when they're booking a holiday, and I think ABTA's taken some pretty strong stands over the last few months in relation to some of the OTAs that we're forced to leave ABTA because of the refund policies, and I think Mark, the CEO of ABTA, and Alistair, the chairman, and the guys really want to try and lead from the front and grasp some of these issues. I think, independent travel agents that are perhaps one or two branches, they don't have the advantage of having teams of in-house lawyers and those sort of people, and they look to ABTA for advice and guidance. And I think there's a lot of things we've got to navigate our way through over the next few months. There may be post-COVID rules and restrictions. There'll be more Brexit stuff. There's going to be perhaps a replacement for the CAA levy, the ATOL fee. There's going to be airline insolvency reviews. And I think there's going to be an increased focus by the government and Competition and Markets Authority on the refund practices of travel companies as well. So there's going to be a lot going on. And I think ABTA are very keen to try and give some information, some guidance and certainty to its members. There's a lot of work to do.
I think they were saying too, when we were having a conversation with them earlier in the week, it was in regard to the fact that the system wasn't totally broken. It was just there was such a surge on the whole setup that came as a tsunami, if you want to call it that, and they come out of it at the end. Some of the regulations were there, maybe weren't clear as much as they should have been. So it's maybe not just if it's not broke, don't fix it, but there is a lot of tweaking to do, a lot of maybe adjusting to do. Would you agree with that?
I think so, yeah. I mean, no business was prepared for the COVID pandemic. I mean, I must admit, I had never considered in our IT meetings that our system should be able to handle a refund of every single forward booking we've got. That would be, you'd be laughed out of the room, wouldn't you? And regulators very often are behind the curve, and even more so in a pandemic like this where things are changing daily. I think we did get some guidance towards the end. We got some sense on refund credit notes, etc. But I think at the end of this, we're going to have to sit down as an industry and really look long and hard at ourselves and see how we did and what we can do better. There's going to be a lot of lessons learned, I think.
Certainly one of the positive elements that have come out to it, because I'm seeing this on a day and hearing it on a day and daily basis. The independent travel agent is going to become more important than ever before. I mean, the way they have dealt with customers face to face through all of this has been incredible, and certainly their business should increase in the future. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would. I think the quality of training that independent travel agents give is fantastic, and we've been doing our bit to help with that. We've also seen our big competitor take flights off sale and remove aircraft from some bases as well. So there's going to be less to book. I think that the independent travel agents very much have a part to play, and I'm very surprised and very impressed at how some of those travel agents have changed the model going forward. They've done, out of hours opening, they've kept the phones open, they've been more proactive in contacting the customers, and that's a real advantage that smaller independent travel agents have over the big verticals, because they can be very fast moving, they can get decisions made, and I think they're here to stay for the future. It's still very much a big part of our business. We've got no plans or desire to reduce the proportion of independent travel agent business we've got. I think it's a very bright future between us.
Very good. Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, my next question, of course, was based on the fact I know how important travel agency business is to Jet2.com and Jet2holidays. Of course, as I always bend your ear at conferences or when you're over here on a regional basis, have you any exciting plans, even ask you at this point, exciting plans for developments from a Belfast base?
Not at the moment, and that's not to say that we don't think about Belfast or we don't want to invest in Belfast in the future, but the last 12, 15 months with us has been very much like travel agents, where we've just been saying we've got to get through this, and we had some plans for further growth which we put on hold. They've been suspended for a while. I think we've got to get out the other side of this and see where we are, and you know, we'll take decisions after that. But you know, Belfast space is very much part of our long-term strategy. We've got no plans to change that, and I'm looking forward to coming over again. I always enjoy a couple of nights in Belfast. We went to a pub, didn't we? And I always enjoy reading the Ulster Fry every week. That's, I was reading the Idiot's Guide to COVID Regulations actually this morning in the Ulster Fry. It's great. I think Belfast is it's a great base. I think we're very popular there. We've got such a strong relationship with the independent travel agents, and you know, I think there's a lot more to do. And I would like to, you know, I'd say when we can travel again, I'd like to have something with the travel agents of Northern Ireland. You know, we will do a meal or some sort of do at night, and we can all get together and talk. And it'd be great to get your and the industry's ideas about what we should do next and what we can do to serve you. So
that's terrific. Yeah, and the last time you were over and we managed to get out for that little Indian meal that we normally had, we ended up in the Harp Bar with the Belfast Giants, who had just won the cup, and you were very generous in filling the cup up for them. They were delighted. So
I forgot about that. Yeah. Cost me a bloody fortune.
Very generous of you. Thank you very much indeed. I say I don't have much more to ask you other than you know, this our forum for Kickstart to Recovery this week is all about giving confidence to the agents going forward. Do you have a parting message for them that can give them a bit of confidence?
Yeah, I think we're now at the beginning of the end of this COVID pandemic. Not a lot happened on the 12th of April with the government's announcement, and I'm not sure we'll have many destinations at all to sell for departure from the 17th of May. But as time goes on, I think there's going to be more and more destinations that open up. I think we've got a very good chance for the end of June for a number of destinations, which is why we moved back to there. And I think once travel gets going, hopefully it will continue. Populations throughout Europe are still being vaccinated. That will mean infection rates will drop. I think we could have a very strong second half to the summer and a decent winter as well. So, you know, I would ask travel agents to stick with it, try and be positive. Let Alan and his team help you as much as they can. That's what they're there for. And keep in touch with us. If anybody has any suggestions, any comments, then, you know, please let us know. And I will be over when we can travel again, and we will get everybody together for a night, and we'll have a bite to eat, and I don't know, maybe a bit of a party or something, and try and get some positivity back, because it's been a dreadful 15 months. Belfast is always one of the places I enjoy myself. I think, you know, great sense of humour, great people, and it'd be good to start and exit out of lockdown by coming over to Northern Ireland and seeing everyone.
That would be terrific. And listen, thank you again for all your support, and you've done a great job for the agents and for the public with the policies you've had. I wish you and all the team well in the future, and I look forward to catching up with you in Belfast very, very soon. Thank you, and I'm happy to do any more interviews over the coming weeks. You know, if you want to just have a 5-minute update as to what's happening and what we're hearing from the government and what our plans are, I'm very happy to do that. Communication is key in this, and you know, our travel agent partners rely on information from people like us, and I'm very happy to share that as soon as we get it. That's great, Steve. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Tomorrow is the final day of our virtual forum in association with Jet2holidays, Kickstart to Recovery. The next steps to recovery session will be with Danny Wayne, ABDA Head of Membership, Peter Shanks, Silver Sea Managing Director, UK and Ireland, Middle East and Africa, Ashley McLaughlin, Iberostar Business Development Director, UK and Ireland, and of course, Alan Cross, UK Head of Trade Sales, Jet2holidays. I think we have assembled an impressive group who can help in our Kickstart to Recovery. I look forward to our final session tomorrow. Thank you, and I'll see you then.